चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा सदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साधवैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च मा ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिने नमः। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरकृष्णे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त श्रीराधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणम्। We have to start text 15, 16, 15, 1, 5. Text 15 today. Namam dushkritano moodaha prapadyante naradhana maya apaharita jnana asurim bhavamashutaha. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are the lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that simply by surrendering oneself unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, one can surmount the stringent laws of material nature. At this point, a question arises: how is it that educated philosophers, scientists, businessmen, administrators, and all leaders of ordinary men do not surrender to the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, the all-powerful Personality of Godhead? Mukti, or liberation from the laws of material nature, is sought by the leaders of mankind in different ways, and with great plans and perseverance for many years and births. But if that liberation is possible by simply surrendering unto the Lord's feet, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then why do these intelligent, hardworking leaders adopt this simple method? The Gita answers this question very frankly. Those real nerds, leaders of the society like Brahma, Shiva, Kapila, Kumaras, Manu, Vyasa, Devala, Sita, Janaka, Prahlad, Bali, and later on Madhavacharya, Ramanujacharya, Sri Chaitanya, and many others were faithful philosophers, politicians, educators, scientists, etc., surrendered to the lotus feet of the Supreme Person, the all-powerful authority. Those who are not actually philosophers, scientists, educators, administrators, etc., but who pose themselves as such for material gain, do not accept the plan or path of the Supreme Lord. They have no idea that they simply manufacture their own worldly plans and consequently complicate the problems of material existence in their vain attempts to solve them. Because material energy nature is so powerful, it can resist the unauthorized plans of the atheists and baffle the knowledge of the planning commissions. The atheistic plan makers are described herein by the word dushkritinaha, or miscreants. Kriti means one who has performed meritorious work. The atheistic plan maker is sometimes very intelligent, meritorious also, but any gigantic plan, good or bad, must take intelligence to execute. But because the atheist brain is improperly utilized in opposing the plan of the Supreme Lord, the atheistic plan maker is called Dushkriti, which indicates that his intelligence and efforts are misdirected. In the Gita, it is clearly mentioned that material energy works fully under the direction of the Supreme Lord. It has no independent authority. It works as the shadow moves in accordance with the movements of the object. But still, material energy is very powerful, and the atheist, due to his godless temperament, cannot know how it works, nor can he know the plan of the Supreme Lord. Under illusion and the modes of passion and ignorance, all his plans are baffled. As in the case of Hiranyakashipu and Ravana, whose plans were smashed to dust, although they were both material learned as scientists, philosophers, administrators, and educators. These Dushkritanas or miscreants are four different patterns as outlined below. Mudas. The Mudas are those who are grossly foolish, like hardworking beasts of burden. They want to enjoy the fruits of their labor but themselves, and so do not want to part with them for the Supreme. The typical example of the beast of burden is the ass. This humble beast is made to work very hard by his master. The ass does not really know for whom he works so hard day and night. He remains satisfied by filling his stomach with a bundle of grass, sleeping for a while under fear of being beaten by his master, and satisfying his sex appetite at the risk of being repeatedly kicked by the opposite party. The ass sings poetry and philosophy sometimes, but this braying sound only disturbs others. This is the position of the foolish fruitive worker who does not know for whom he should work. He does not know that karma or action is meant for yajna. Most often, those who work very, very hard day and night to clear the burden of self created duties say that they have no time to hear of the immortality of the living being. To such Mudas, material gains, which are destructible, are life's all in all, despite the fact that the Mudas enjoy a very little fraction, very small fraction of the fruit of labor. Sometimes they spend sleepless days and nights for fruitive gain, and although they may have ulcers or indigestion, they are satisfied with practically no food. They are simply absorbed in working hard day and night for the benefit of illusory masters. Ignorant of their real master, the foolish workers waste their valuable time serving Mammon. Unfortunately, they do not surrender to the supreme master of all masters, nor do they take time to hear of him from the proper sources. The swine who eat the night soil do not care to accept sweetmeats made of sugar and ghee. Similarly, the foolish worker will untiringly continue to hear of the sense enjoyable tidings of the flickering material world, but will have very little time to hear about the eternal living force that moves the material world. Srila Prabhupada very precisely points out here the state of affairs of the so-called scientists, philosophers, administrators, businessmen, and so on. And Prabhupada begins with the question that such people, they're very intelligent. Then why are they not able to understand the Supreme Lord? And then Prabhupada is explaining how because these people lack faith, therefore, they're only so-called intelligent. They're only so-called scientists, philosophers. They have not caught the substance of it. They're only fluffing in the shell. The core is untapped. The core is untouched. Because Krishna is at the core of everything. Krishna is at the core of everything. So here we learn a very important lesson. To gain any position in this world, in its true sense, is an inner cultivation. Just like as soon as one, suppose, as soon as suppose one gets the say admission into one of the IITs. So as soon as one gets admission into IITs, one can very easily wear a T-shirt writing IIT and I'm IIT and I rock the world. I pierce the world, steer through whatever. So one can very easily put an IIT slogan and wear a T-shirt like that. That's very easy. Now, the matter of the fact is that admission in IIT does not mean when somebody has become an IIT. He has to go undergo 5 years of training and behave himself and at least pass out. Within the course tenure of the 5-year training, he should not show some flying colors. He's flying out of the boundaries of the IIT norms. So only such a person is called an IITian. Now we can see, okay, for a class 11th student, it may take a JEE qualifier to be able to wear the IIT T-shirt. But here, if you see in Kharagpur, things are even more cheap. Why? Because any mess worker in IIT also wears an IIT T-shirt. And in fact, he is not wrong. I mean, he is not wrong because he is connected to IIT, like that. So, but that connection is very flimsy connection, is it not? He is not wrong. He's connected to IIT, but he's connected to IIT as a mess worker. He's connected to IIT as a maybe somebody who's in charge of cleaning, sanitation, cleaning, whatever, laundry, any such thing like that, is it not? So so somebody asks, okay, where do you work? He says, I work in IIT, IIT, employee, So, so the point is that a cleaner can also be called as an IIT employee. That doesn't mean he and a professor are at the same level. This is to be understood. So somebody not knowing anything may get delusion to consider them at the same level. Oh, he's also IIT employee. Oh, he's IIT. He's also IIT. Okay, like that. But what we have to question, or what one has to question himself, is that how much footing I have gained into the field, how much footing I have gained into the field. Am I simply superficially touching, or do I really have substance? So on a quick read or on a first read, it may appear that Prabhupada is just sentimentally saying that these so-called scientists are not scientists, they're so-called scientists, they're just so-called philosophers, the so-called philosophies. Now one may say, what is so-called? They have published so many papers, and they have written books. Their books, papers, their contributions have been acknowledged. There are accolades in their to their success, and we are saying it's so-called. So we have to understand why Prabhupada is saying so-called. It's not from the perspective of demeaning them, but it is from the perspective of highlighting the incompleteness in their footing. That yes, they are people of the Academy of Knowledge, of the Academy of Gyan, but they are touching it very superficially because they are materially, atheistically oriented. Therefore, they cannot touch to a greater degree. Their access level is going to be very shallow and very shabby. So yes, they are employees of the Academy of Knowledge, the Jnana, but they are playing the role of some sweepers and cleaners, that's all. So they're simply sweeping and cleaning on a very shabby and shallow level, that's all. Therefore, their returns are not much, is it not? Now, yes, any sweeper can also have a very good resume. I mean, can have a fluffy resume, I mean, a heavy resume, is it not? Because a sweeper can also write, I have worked with many brands. I have worked with Unilever, I have worked at Microsoft, I have worked at Google, I have worked at IIT, my resume is being considered in MIT now, But the point is, as what? As a sweeper and cleaner, that's all, is it not? So this is the point actually. Having a heavy resume doesn't reflect the index of life, is it not? Just like people have this many times this cheap mentality of I mean it's a very shallow desire. Sometimes people have the habit, they want to click their photographs with some stars, like that, and some movie star, or some sports star, or some successful leader like that, or maybe one who has successful influencer like that, so to say, not leader but influencer, and one who has good fan following. So the point is that now and then they will portray this kind of photograph in their shop, in their house, in a very nice frame and everything like that. That okay, I And if somebody sees and appreciates, they feel so nice. And somebody says, okay, do you have some acquaintance? And this fellow is feeling very nice. Yes, yes, yes. So what do the acquaintance? This fellow was simply itching, the somebody just condescended, for him to take a photograph. That's all, is it not? So in one sense, there is some acquaintance, but that acquaintance is very bogus, is it not? Very minimal, is it not? And that particular mindset, that okay, because I click photograph with the star, therefore I'm great. That's a very cheap and shallow thinking, actually. Is it not? It's a very cheap and shallow thinking, actually. Now mind it, to get photographed with a star also requires some hard work, is it not? One has to know about the movements of that person, One has to be always, waiting, is it not? When that person come out of car, going into the car, that is the time where one can get the photograph. Where else will get it? Is it not? One has to be very humble, spend a good time. So it requires a good amount of hard work. But this good amount of hard work is a misutilization of intelligence. Is it not? Is a misutilization of the tendency of working hard. This is so cheap. This mindset is so cheap, is it not? That is the idea, which has to be understood, is it not? So that is the reason why the scientists and philosophers are being called as so-called. Like we hear about this story that there was one sadhu who was being asked the question. What was the question? The question, one time one person asked him that ये साधु की दाढ़ी है या बकरी का मूछ? What is it? And the sadhu considered it deeply, and he understood. It's a meaningful question, ये साधु की दाढ़ी है, बकरी का मूछ? He had a beard, and he was asked this question. He said, "Good question. Come after 20 years, I'll tell you." Yeah. So he said, So he took it up in that sense. And the person would come after a long, long time. He would meet again. He will ask the question, "ये साधु की दाढ़ी है या बकरी की मूछ?" And he would say that it's still not over. I can still not. My experiment is yet not over. I can yet not make a conclusion. You please come later. It's a long experiment. Don't worry. The person would come again after many years, and again he'll ask the question. And the sadhu will say, yes, yes, the experiment is going on. It's not yet complete. So like this, the sadhu spent his whole life in following his principles, practicing. Now the sadhu was at the fag end of his life. He was about to end his life. He was at the fag end of his life. And he told his students, you call that person. Now is the time. The experiment is over. So he called the person. The person came. And the sadhu said, you always used to ask a question. ये साधु की दाढ़ी है या बकरी की मूछ? Said he always wanted to ask this question, and I was doing the experiment. Now my experiment is over. He said, now I can give the conclusion, and my conclusion is, ये साधु की दाढ़ी है, ये बकरी की मूछ नहीं है. So the person was amazed at his confidence. What confidence he's speaking? And the person said, I will substantiate. You said many decades before when you asked this question. This question meant, this question was on questioning the genuineness, the sincerity and genuineness of a sadhu. That am I really a sadhu or not? So therefore I did the experiment. I followed the principles what my guru had told. I followed the principles of the Shastras. I stood by these principles through thick and thin. I stood by these principles throughout my life. And now I can say confidently that yes, ye sadhu ki dadi hai. This is not something cheap. Because I stood by those principles, I'm ending my life in following, in saluting, in surrendering to the principles of the Shastras. Therefore, ye sadhu ki dadi hai. So very instructive, a very instructive understanding, a very instructive story. So in that same light, Srila Prabhupada is talking about, okay, scientist, philosopher, intelligent. What kind of philosopher? What kind of scientist? What quality of philosopher? What quality of scientist? That is the question being raised by Srila Prabhupada. That is the question being raised by Srila Prabhupada here, actually. And that is what we have to understand. So simply by bearing a name tag or getting access to a name tag does not necessitate one, or does not necessitate that one is glorious. One needs to prove his depth of footing. So the Shastras are also talking about, now one may say, okay, no, intelligence, intelligence. Many people are intelligent. The Kriti means intelligence and all that. So yes, intelligence, everything is all fine. The Shastras are offering an important dimension. They say that intelligence has to be understood in terms of, first of all, on what ground? First, to evaluate the ground on which that intelligence is executed. What is the impact of that ground? Then we can make conclusions about intelligence. So what kind of auspicious impact is that intelligence creating on the society, humanity, nature, Mother Earth? That can decide what is the level of that intelligence, or what is the value of that intelligence. So skill, intelligence. Shastras are talking about skill, intelligence. If it is used for a horrifying cause, it's all bogus. It's of no use. But if it is utilized for an auspicious cause, then it has meaning and value. The cause. So therefore, primary intelligence is reflected in terms of which cause one works for. And then what tools one uses to work for it reflects a secondary intelligence, which is not of much value. If the primary is zero, the secondary is of no use. It's just like, say, for example, now there is now taking a material example only just to get an understanding and a feel. Just to say, suppose somebody is a Nobel laureate. Now the question is that, okay, this Nobel laureate knows now when he wants to communicate about his research, how many languages he knows? Does he only know English? Does he know American English? Does he know British English? Uh, does he know German? Does he know Spanish? Does he know French? How many languages he knows? So suppose there is a Nobel laureate who knows only one language, whereas there may be another person who knows 10 languages, 20 languages. So language is just the expression. It's secondary intelligence. Now it requires intelligence to pick up a language. Yes, no doubt about that. But language is just a medium and a tool. What is the substance which one wants to communicate through that language? Is it? There may be a terrorist who's knowing 25 languages, but that doesn't make him glorious. It only speaks. I mean, everybody will say it's bogus. An illiterate terrorist is also bogus, and a 25 language terrorist is also bogus. So sometimes he said, no, that terrorist was an engineer. He was very highly educated. What is the use? What is the use? All his learning and everything is of no use. Had he been an illiterate, he would have reached the same end. And had he been a PhD, postdoc, he would have reached the same end. Is it not? Why? Because he chose terrorism. Is it not? Such a shabby ground. So real intelligence lies in choosing the right ground. What is creating an impact? So that's what the Shastras are talking about. People just feel that, okay, if I am able to crunch some results in any field, it's okay. No, it's not okay. Anybody and everybody is able to do something. Is it not? Now, even animals are doing so much hard work. They also, the Shastras are explaining that even a lion has to work so hard to get his food. Nahi suptasya singasya mukha. Pravashantim. So even the Shastras are talking about it. What is the big deal in being able to simulate, being able to articulate? No, but what are you articulating? What are you articulating? That's the whole point. So just like we can see, even materially speaking, everything requires great hard work. Is it not? Now somebody says, okay, I want to become engineer, I want to become doctor. Yeah, if you want to become engineer, doctor, the JEE and the AIMS and the NEET and the AIEEE, all these exams also, there's no AIEEE exam, I think. Yeah, so all these exams also require competing with lakhs of people. Is it not? Now somebody says, oh, very difficult this is, I don't want to do this. Then you want to do something, is it not? And it's okay, what is the option for a person who doesn't want to do this? And it's okay, maybe the option is, no, okay, one gives banking, but banking also there are 10 lakh people who sit in the exam and 4,000 people who selected. Hello? How are you different from, how is this different from the previous ground? Is it not? Now one may say, okay, people are at the level of intelligence a little less. It's all fine, but it is good enough to give you a tight competition. Is it not? Like that. And may say, no, I cannot do that. I'll do CA, but CA also there are lakhs of people. People give 3, 4, 5 attempts again. Only in very few cities I see people are successful. It's like, and if one doesn't do that, one say, okay, I will become a teacher. But then there are these all India exams for that also. First of all, that exam only comes once in 3 years. Like that. And if the exam is conducted, the result comes after how many years you don't know. Like that. And after the result comes, the final recruitment happens after a few years. So it's all in style. Is it not? So the whole point is that everything is so tough. Is it not? Like that. No, even an office clerk level exam. There also there are lakhs of people. So anywhere you go, there are lakhs of people. Now somebody may say, okay, I crunched this, I crunched that. Is it not? So now, but the salary scale is not given according to that level. Is it not? Although it's say suppose one is now in 10 lakh, he is within 4,000, but that doesn't mean he'll get 1 lakh salary. It depends where is he. If he's a clerical, he'll get 20,000. If he's an IITN, 20,000 a month. If he's an IITN, he may get 1 lakh, 2 lakh a month. So why the disparity? The disparity is because the ground where one competed, that ground can create a bigger impact on the society, materially speaking. Therefore, that person is remunerated more and acknowledged more. Is it not? One of our devotees' brother, he spent 15 years to get being selected as a police officer. I don't know which cadre, but maybe constable level or something like that. 12 to 15, I think 12 years or so it took. So can you imagine how much tempo, so and you need a lot of physical running, this, that, athletic, gymnastics, everything, high jump, long jump, everything you need. She did that. So now one may say, okay, why the remuneration not so much? Because hard work. So just working hard and intelligence is not the point. Even materially they value which ground you work hard. Is it like that? A terrorist also works very hard to make his social media profile. Is it not? But he is not acknowledged so much. Is it not? He is not glorified so much. People say, "Chi, thu," again, An unknown terrorist is better than a known social media profile terrorist. Is it not? Like that. Why? Because people are at least not cursing an unknown fellow because they don't know him. Kisko curse karenge? But at least somebody they know somebody. अरे यही है ना like हर so everybody curses. Is it not? So this is the point which has to be understood, that because the mundane vision, the so-called scientists, philosophers, unfortunately, they have chosen an atheism, a ground of atheism. Therefore, all their efforts start going futile. All their endeavors start going destructive rather than constructive. That's why they are being called as so-called namesake bogus. Papa doesn't call it as call them as bogus, but anyways, it I mean explicitly. But yes, uh, they are called as dushkritis, miscreants. They have merit, they have talent, they are misutilizing their talent, and therefore they are creating havoc in the society. Prabhupada speaks about that. So this is the idea, this is the point which has to be understood. That for what cause you are working comes in the first place. Then comes how hard you are working, or how much you are putting your sweat, toil, brain substance, gray matter, whatever. So here Prabhupada explains that the mental energy is so powerful it smashes to dust, baffles the plans of the atheist. One time Radhanath Swami was explaining that how these materialistic people, when they look at the material world with an exploitative vision, Maya Shakti is never going to show them the real face. Do you think Maya Shakti is show to them the reality of how things exist? Maya Shakti will show them completely illusory pictures which will completely bewilder them. That means they will take that illusory picture as a template, as a biblical template, and they will base their lives and everything on those templates. But those pictures that Maya Devi shows of this is how reality is, that will keep them just circling around, doing round, 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 just looping and looping. That's all. That's how Maya Shakti will arrange them, or that's what Maya Shakti will arrange them to do, because their vision is demoniac. Their vision is tainted with exploitation. Therefore, Maya is not going to reveal. Maya will say, okay, you want to see the right picture? I'll show you. She shows something very crooked, very topsy-turvy. Therefore, from an atheistic, materialistic vision, when one looks at this world, one finds chaos, disorder in this world. One doesn't find anything meaningful in this world. Therefore, materialistic people, they are following this kind of, the Sigmund Freud's philosophy. Then they say, okay, that there is nothing other than sexual appetite because they're not able to see anything better than that. Maya is not allowing them to see anything better than that. They see only that thing which can incriminate them